Hello and welcome into this mystery reading. My name is Molly. I am the Quantum Leap Queen. Thanks for joining me on this reading. These readings are timeless, they are a mystery. I just pull cards and we see what this group needs to hear. So trust that wherever you're at on your journey, when you found this video, that there is a message here for you. So I'm going to set the intention, like always, to give you the best messages that you need to hear today. I'm going to start with Every Little Thing You Do is Magic Tarot. So let's begin. So what are we looking at with this group today? Okay, so we have the Champion of Swords. This is the Knight of Swords. That's the first card out. This is fun. I actually haven't seen much of this card. It's a peacock with diamonds and jewels. That's pretty fun. You could be feeling like you're stepping into something new. You're starting to get your groove in some kind of area of life. Even just mentally, because the swords are mental. So you could be feeling like you're able to pick the thoughts that you like better, having more discernment over your mindset, having more, just awareness. You've been able to adjust that a bit. What else? The deck is kind of quiet. What else? What else with this group? Oh, there we go. Okay, I got the Eight of Swords. I got the Lovers. I have the Four of Swords. And I have the Oracle of Pentacles, which is the Queen of Pentacles. So let me just feel here for a second. Yeah, I feel like you have upgraded your mindset because of a situation that you were in where you felt utterly trapped and stuck. Just like this Eight of Swords card with the lion. There's like no better indicator or picture, I feel like, for what you went through, because you are this normally like this super expressive, like embodied lion, let's say, but you were in a situation that really suppressed you, where you weren't feeling like you were able to be yourself, that you were trapped. And I think you got yourself out of that situation, and I think that's why now you're able to have such a abundant mindset. It's because you had to work a lot on your mindset going through that situation and coming out on the other side of it. I had the Lovers card come out as well, so that trapped situation definitely could have felt like when you were in a relationship you felt trapped. Yeah, that's what I get with this group. I think it was like you were in a romantic relationship where at the end of it you felt like, oof, I'm not gonna grow. You really felt stuck in that situation. So I think you left. I think that's what happened, or something happened where it fell apart and you weren't able to continue in that romance, which ended up being a really big blessing in disguise, of course, because with the Knight of Swords energy, your mindset is good now. Like, maybe it's not perfect, but I feel like it's much better than it was before, because you're more solid within yourself, is what I feel now. You're not going to get yourself in that situation again because you're too smart now. You're too wise. That's what I feel. Because Four of Swords, yeah, you really had to go through this time of like just looking within. The Four of Swords is such a card of inner contemplation, like really reviewing what happened. And I think that's what you did. And you learned a lot about who you were with, about the kind of mindset they had, or the kind of energy, they're sitting in. And you just recognize like this split could have been like the biggest blessing in disguise for you, because you just recognize now that you're out of it, like, wow, that's not someone I want to be with for the long term. Um, yeah, that's how I feel. And then with the Queen of Pentacles here, it's like you've really stepped into your worth and you've really stopped playing the victim, is what I get from this relationship. I really do think this group sees it more as a blessing now, you know, or at least you're getting to that point where you recognize, okay, that actually brought me a lot of good, even though it was kind of a shitty situation. It brought you a lot because it taught you a lot about yourself. There's a lot of good you gained from leaving that relationship, from being in it, from feeling the heaviness of it, and then getting yourself out. There's a lot that you learned. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting for this group. What else? What else can I tell this group? I have the Devil. Yep. It was a relationship where you both showed each other where you're leaking energy, you could say. You know, it definitely taught you a lot about where you're leaking your energy, which feels like perhaps you were overgiving. For sure you were, let's say, like chipping away parts of yourself in order to make this relationship work. I think you sacrificed a lot of yourself. And that just showed you where you're leaking your own energy and you're sacrificing to keep it going, to keep the relationship going, to keep the peace, you could say, but it wasn't even really peace. It was just like to keep the wheels turning or to keep the lights on, because the moment you stopped, the lights were dead. The situation was dead and you just weren't ready for that. So you kept chipping away at yourself in order to keep it going. And you recognize, like, I'm not going to do that again. That was not worth it. You know, it was a tough life lesson for you, but I think you really learned how to honor yourself at a whole deeper level, because you went through this dark night of the soul and you got to really experience what it was like to be in love with someone who wasn't meeting you. You know, it takes two people and there was only one person giving. And I just feel like that person just left you hanging. But that person really couldn't give because they don't even give to themselves in a way that's loving and nourishing. So it's kind of, you can't expect them to give to you as well. They have a lot of work to do within themselves, and that's the Devil card. Is like, this is Saturn energy, this is, you know, Capricorn energy, but it's basically the looking at our attachments to drama or to things that keep us in the past. I'll say that. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. What else? What else from the tarot? What other advice can I give this group for where they're at, or about the relationship, or whatever they need to hear? I have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, and the Oracle of Cups. Ooh, I love this Queen of Cups card. I haven't really seen that. Nice. Okay. So the Nine of Swords. That's just the place that you went to. I mean, this is the card of anxiety. Like, I really think you had nights where you were crying yourself to sleep. Just, you know, just in anguish, absolute anguish over like what happened, like trying to piece it together and just feeling so confused. Like, how can someone that loved me like do this to me? I would not even imagine doing that to them. So how could they do this to me? And you know, I think you just felt you spent a lot of time in your own hell that way. Like, truly your heart was cracked open. And so you had no choice but to rebuild then from the ground up. Mentally, emotionally, truly. So that's where I think the Queen of Cups card comes in, is saying, like, You really got to recognize how much you have to give and how big of a heart you had. And I truly get with this group, you have not let that breakup shut you down. You let it be the pillar to opening yourself up even more to love and to love even deeper. I think you have such an expansive heart. And I think there's so much wisdom you gained from going through such a dark period. And I love in this Queen of Cups card, the whale, because the whales, obviously, they have so much wisdom. They're so, it's just, you're timeless. You are truly timeless, and you have so much love to give still. You're not going to let this breakup, shut you down or shut up your heart or shut up your emotions at all. In fact, this crack open has made you love even more. Love yourself even more, love life even more, love people even more. And that's not something that's going to go away. That's who you are at the end of the day. And that's amazing. And honestly, that person, whoever you left, they admire that so much about you, even if they can't or wouldn't ever admit that. They don't know how you do it, because it could have been that your caring or your love was so big that it shamed them, or it tried to shake them to open up their own heart to go deeper within themselves. And when they said, that's not what I want, so I'm going to shut them up by shutting them out, they were hoping to keep your love at least away from them, which now you understand they're not ready, they don't want it, that's okay, that's their journey. But I think if they were ever to see you or to witness you now, it's oof, you would break them open all over again, because it's the amount of wisdom and love that you hold is something truly special, and you need to acknowledge that about yourself, the work that you've done to alchemize the hate and the pain and everything that person did to hurt you. They did do that to hurt you, but they're hurting themselves more at the end of the day, obviously. So their attempt just brought you more love, truly. And that's how wise and how much of an alchemizer you are. Yeah. So let me ask if there's anything else from the tarot that wants to come out. Any last messages before we move on to some oracle decks? I have the Two of Swords, yeah. And the Three of Wands, yeah. I think going through that situation, it helped you so much to realize that you always got yourself at the end of the day. You really are, an alchemizer, as in you're going to take the lessons out of everything. You're going to turn straw into gold, truly. You're going to turn dirt into diamonds. That's what I feel like. Because you are one to always know that even when you're knocked down, even if you spend a while down, you're always going to get yourself back up. You are going to do that for you. And the Two of Swords, you're always going to go within and find the truth. I don't think you're finding the truth isn't outside of me, the truth is within me. So you always got yourself, and I think that's what you have recognized going through this really, really difficult situation. You're just not afraid, you're recognizing I got me. Yeah, you really pulled yourself from the bootstraps, back up out of the pits of hell. You did that. That's what needs to be acknowledged here, is the bravery that you hold, the strength that you hold, and the absolute care and love that you hold along that process too. To transform the hurt into love and beauty and art. A true alchemizer. That's what you are. Okay, I'm going to move on from the tarot and let's pull some oracle cards for you now. I'm going to pull from the Moonology deck first. We'll see what messages the moon has for you. Okay, we have full moon in Scorpio, time to release negativity. So I feel like I just, went on a rampage of how amazing you are. So maybe that there is some lingering, like, I don't know if I'm enough. And that's usually the case with people that are absolutely stellar. There's always this little voice that's like, well, am I enough? Did I do enough? Like, and I think a lot of it is because, like, so much of our worth is tied into, like, our productivity. At least, like, in the Western cultures, it seems to be a lot of it, especially, like, in America, where I currently am. That is, you could just have, like, some expectations, let's say, of yourself. That just need to be addressed and be like, do I really need to put this pressure on myself? Do I really need to beat myself up for this? So I think that's just a reminder to, like, give yourself some slack, give yourself some credit for what you've been through and what you've pulled yourself out of, and don't give yourself such a hard time. Yeah, I can relate to that for sure. Let me see if there's another moon card that wants to come out for you. Another message from the moon. Thank you. Okay. Full moon in Aquarius. Show the world the real you. Ah, yeah. It's time now. And Aquarius is your unique self, your authentic self. And Aquarius as well, it's so much about the community. So it's like taking your own unique skills and adding them to the community. So whether that is art or whether that is simply sharing your story, there's a million ways that you can help others. And it's interesting that we have 2 full moons. So I just feel like the energy is really heightened for you right now. And I really think it amplifies both the negative and positive. You could see it as like what you learned through this situation and how you're able to integrate both negative and positive in your energy now. You're just feeling more whole in both of those because you have more experience now in both of those within yourself. That's what I think. That's what I feel. Okay, let's move on now. I'm going to pull from the Animal Oracle deck. Oh, what the heck? I didn't even notice, but I have a tarot card from a different deck I don't even have out here. This is the Chariot. So, a new beginning. And just like I was saying, the negative and the positive, the black and the white, this integration process with both. And then the Chariot is the card of a new beginning. So it's like moving forward with roots in both the light and the dark, of yourself, able to create a new thing from these powerful integrations of your own light and darkness. So perfect that it wanted to pop up and come out. Okay, so what is the best message from this deck for this group right now? Oh, nice. Okay. So we have Master Manifestor. And I believe it's the Raven. This is number 10. Let's take a look. Number 10, yeah. Master Manifestor the Raven. Raven lived in a lonely life in a dark abyss of the universe with only one other creature, Spider. Anytime Spider crawled to Raven, Raven would freeze in terror, and Spider would sadly crawl away, for she did not want to scare Raven. Often you could find Raven gazing into the endless universe and dreaming about creating the world. Everything in his heart wanted to experience so much more, but he just didn't know how to create it. One day, Spider saw Raven projecting his dreams into the universe. Spider crawled up to Raven, and as usual, Raven froze in fear. Spider sadly looked up to Raven, suffocating in his fear, and right before Spider was about to dart away, she decided to use her voice and said, "Dear Raven, I know you do not trust me, but I can help you." Raven seemed to snap out of his hypnotic state of terror for a moment and looked down at Spider. "I can weave your dream into existence," said Spider. It was at this moment that Raven understood not only did he have to befriend his fear, who was Spider, but that his fear is what held the gift to allow him to manifest his dream. Once Raven could accept and deeply love all aspects of himself, one being the Spider, who represents his fear, he then was able to become the ultimate magician and the master manifestor. Raven's medicine says when you honor all aspects of your being, you become whole. Wholeness equates to self-love, and your wholeness supercharges your magnetism to attract and create. When you befriend the painful parts of your personality, you will find they are the ones that hold the secrets that allow you to fully step into your purpose. And damn, if that ain't like what the hell we've been talking about. Woo! That gets me amped up because we were literally just saying the black and white, the shadows and the dark, the integration of those, right? That is the key point of manifestation, because you're not banishing one, you're not putting one on a pedestal, you are integrating both. And that makes you a master manifestor in your life. Truly. So that could not be more on par with everything. So, yeah, I love that. I actually haven't read that card before. That's fun. I love how it's like story themed. Okay, so in stories too, like that could be a big thing, is just like you expressing your story, you expressing what you've been through. Like think about how many people have expressed their story, and that because they expressed their story, you gained insight and benefit from hearing them. So now it's like you're passing on the baton, like, or you're being handed the baton, let's say, to share, you know, through the integration of your dark and your light. So that'll resonate for some of you who feel called to share. Okay, so we're going to move on now to the Sacred Symbols Oracle. We'll see what symbol wants to come out and be expressed. Let's see. What is the best card for this group? Oh, okay. We had 3 cards that popped out. Affluence. Wow, that's a fun symbol. We have Earth. And we have Trust. The affluence I need to look up. I don't know much about that card at all. Let me take a look. Affluence. Wealth in all forms is available to you now. You are rich on all accounts. Drawing this card invites you to feel the abundant flow of having all that you need on the material and spiritual planes. If you are inquiring about a situation or relationship, this certainly indicates that there is much to be experienced here. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. You are being provided for and rewarded at this time. Nice. Okay, cool. I feel like because of what you've went through and because you're kind of on the other side and because you have integrated shadow and light, there's something now that's calling to you to be created. And maybe you know what it is right off the bat and maybe you don't. But either way, I feel that the group of cards here is saying that you have everything you need to bring it to fruition should you choose to at this time. And I think for most of you, that's what it's indicating, because we have such, manifestation powers with this and the reminder that you have everything you need. And then also with Earth, that is the grounding and the manifestation of what it is that you're trying to create, and trusting in it, not putting expectations on how it's supposed to look or how many, let's say like the reach of it, how many people it reaches, or like, any expectations you have on the art or whatever it is you're creating. Drop it. Just trust that the creation of it is enough, that like you're creating with an end in itself. The creation process is the gift at the end of the day, and truly what you're looking for, to get it out of your vibration and out of your mind and out of the feelings into the manifestation of the world, creating it into form. So if you don't know what this is, I would ask up to the guides, to yourself about like what does want to be created. Or maybe it's even more of a commitment to something you're already creating. Like if you're already a painter, it's like a more indicator to choose that more. You're gonna know what it is for yourself, or you're gonna ask for the guidance to create what it is that wants to be created. But for sure, there's something here about sharing now your knowledge or sharing your experience, whether it's through words or whether it's through art or something else entirely. But for sure, it's creating it now into the world. It's birthing it into the world. That's what you're being asked to do. That's what the message is for you. So that's pretty clear from that deck. Okay, I'm gonna read from one more deck here. The deck is I Create My Reality. And let's find out what the final message is for you, for this group. What is the final message? Okay. It says, my body knows better. I trust my body's wisdom. Your body is a field of intelligent wisdom that is speaking to you all the time. Listen to it. In any given situation, feel deep inside what is resonating within you, what feels right or what feels like it is not a good thing to do. Your body is your vehicle to experience this life. Make a priority of taking good care of it. Eat healthy and mindfully. Definitely coincides with all of this earth manifestation energy we're feeling, and reminding you of your physical vessel. And also trusting your body's wisdom to the point where you listen to what it needs, not in your mind about, oh, I need to do this and this and this to take care of my body, but to truly check in with yourself and to ask your body for the wisdom. Truly, you can change the driver's seat of your life from your logical mind into your intuitive mind, into your body. I did that for myself like a few years back. I literally was like, okay, my heart, my soul, that's what's guiding me. The logic is in the backseat. And it utterly changed my life to something so beautiful. I just can't even believe I get to live this life now, which is like, I'm basically a snowbird. I'm in Minnesota for several months in the summer, and then I go for the majority of the time, fall, winter, spring, to Mexico, and I get to live 5 minutes from the beach, and I get to play a lot of volleyball, and like I get so many amazing friends. I didn't I didn't jump into that lifestyle in Mexico until I put my intuition into the driver's seat, and it literally directed me to that location, and it created this beautiful life based on directions from my intuition, not my logic. So I just share that as like, give yourself full permission. Give yourself full permission. Give your body full permission to lead the way, because it truly knows best. So that is your message. I think this group has done a lot of work, and now it's time to share. You're meant to share the magic that you have learned and created at a different level now. You know, I do think like this is a new chapter opening up for you to create more, in the physical of what you've learned, what you've been harboring now energetically inside you. It's time to give it as an offering for the earth and for humanity and yourself, and just that's what's next for you. That's what I'm getting. So that's your reading. Come on back whenever you need more nourishment. These readings are timeless. So we'll see you guys on the next reading. Bye.